What's good, my flawless fantasy football familia? What's cracking? Everybody good? Yeah? Yeah? Your boy doing good too. Your boy good, doing real good these days. All right, let's fight through this week 7 by apocalypse. We can do it. We shall do it. Let's run through these Saturday night, Sweet 6 to Saturday night news and notes. I'm only going to talk about players that are notable. Not nobody players that aren't notable. You don't need to be talking about. We're not going to congest the airwaves with their nonsense. Okay, we're not doing it. All right. So let's start. I don't know where the hell my clipboard is. I don't got my clipboard. I'm feeling kind of bothered about that. Spent 15 minutes looking for it. Let's start with 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, Mr. Goo-Wop. He's going to be doing the starting this Sunday night prime time against the Colts. I'm very excited to see that personally. My favorite team playing against my running back that I'm a truther of. Because, everybody knows by now I'm a Jonathan Taylor truther. We don't have to tell it. Yeah, I am. So I'm going to be very vested into that game. Again, Trey Lance is out. I want to start off my week right. Because actually I'm on vacation now, start today. And my birthday's on Tuesday, so I want to start this out right. I want Jonathan Taylor to get like 2 touchdowns and the 49ers win. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so I don't know if I mentioned, but it's notable to mention that left tackle Trent Williams is doubtful. He's not going to play. I don't know why he's not going to play because it's not like he didn't have, a bye week last week. So, but it is what it is. Baker Mayfield, obviously he didn't play this Thursday, and the actual fracture is called like tuberosity, if I pronounced that right. He feels that they say that once it's healed, he could come back and play. He's hoping it's the next game, but I think he should sit out the next game for sure. Because it's week 8. They're playing against Pittsburgh, and then I believe the next game they play against Cincinnati. So he should sit that game out and come back for a better game for me. That's what I would say. So, but he'll be fine. I'm glad he didn't play. But like I say, more people should have the gumption that he has. But so many of these football players are fairies nowadays. All right, those are on 2 quarterbacks I want to talk about. Okay, let's go with the 49ers activated JaMycal Hasty. He's activated. So he'll be in the rotation. I don't know if he's going to play behind Elijah Mitchell or behind Trey Sermon. We shall see. I'm interested to see as a Niner fan, of course. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think, watch as soon as I say this, he ran like crazy. I don't think Elijah Mitchell is the answer. I think Trey Sermon is. He's not the kind of running back they want, but they should have did their research on that, Make sure. Jeff Wilson's not coming back anytime soon. He's not coming back till late November. A lot of people think he's coming back sooner, but he's not coming back till then. So we'll see how JaMycal Hasty, if he's going to be, second string or third string. We'll see what happens with that. But either way, I don't know if any of you are relying on Elijah Mitchell, but, I guess he's a safe play. Because the guys, Hasty just coming back and they don't want to play Sermon at all. Damien Williams has been activated off the COVID-19 list. And that's great news for anybody that had him and got him off waivers. And they missed the game with him last week. But do you want to play him? I mean, I believe he's a safer play this week against Tampa because chances are they're going to be getting boat raced, so they'll be out of it fairly soon. At least that's what the odds are saying, and Vegas is saying. So, and he does the pass catching, so he should have more work than Herbert. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think you want to start Herbert this week because it's hard to start any running back really against Tampa Bay because you can't run on Tampa Bay. No, you just can't do it. Here he can. Henry can run on anybody. All right, let's not get sidetracked. But Damien Williams might, he be able to do some pass catching. So, in PPR leagues, that might be beneficial. I don't just want to talk about this. I guess you have to. The Seattle Seahawks, Penny has been activated. He's supposed to be getting some work in. Head coach Pete Carroll says that Penny's ready to go. Now, mind you to get Homer and DJ Dallas there as well. But Homer or DJ Dallas will be inactive. I don't know which one. I would venture to say DJ Dallas because Homer's the pass catcher back. Because just recently, late this afternoon, coach said that Alex Collins will play. So I'm assuming if he plays, he's going to start. But I think he'll also be he'll be monitored, and I don't think he'll get the workload that he got last time. So that's going to be interesting. As per Penny, Carroll's never really given him the workload like that. Plus, Penny's never shown that he can handle the workload either. So he's just one of those players that, if you got Alex Collins, you got to be in a real pinch to play Penny. I'd rather you pivot to somewhere else, even if you do have Alex Collins. But they don't trust Geno, so they're going to try to run, So we'll see what happens with that. But Alex Collins is expected to play based on what the coach said. Swift, he's going to play for Detroit. He's questionable, but he's expected to play with a groin issue. Jamal Williams, he hasn't been getting much juice lately. He hasn't been getting a lot of the percentage of running back snaps. It's been like 30%. It's just... So he's kind of out of the loop right now. But he's worth holding on to if you have him because Swift has glass tendencies, okay? So you always want to keep him around, vest in those running backs that are kind of glass. So if the other running back get the ball, he's going to be getting the majority of the carries, and that's valuable, especially nowadays in this climate. Let's talk about Baltimore. Latavius Murray, he's out. He won't be playing. Kind of figured that. You saw how he was walking off the field last week. Yeah, he wasn't playing. He knew it off the rip. Devonta Freeman expected to start. Lev Bell will be backing him up. I don't know how useful Lev Bell will be, but Freeman should be safe. He had 9 carries of 50-some yards and had the touchdown, so he didn't look bad. And Lev Bell trying to strut into the end zone and trying to be cute. I'm like, dude, this ain't Pittsburgh, man. Get out of here. So, if you pick Devonta Freeman up, if you need him as an RB2, sketchy RB2, you probably can get away with it, but it's a flex. I think it's a pretty decent flex. Sony Michel's limited, but he's expected to play. Let's talk about Mr. latest recipient of the Ham and Egger Award, Mr. Antonio Gibson. He's confident that he's going to play. Been doing some practicing. Yeah, you'll play, but how productive will you be? Will y'all be getting boat raced and you give way to McKinnon? I guess I gotta play him. I guess y'all gotta play him. Because you picked him in the second round. Sometimes you just gotta fall on your sword with a player. I mean, I'm the type of person, that's what I believe in. It's like I'm gonna fall on my sword with certain people. Like I have your boy for I forget his doggone name. He's so doggone out of Seattle. Tyler Lockett. I have Tyler Lockett. Guess what? I'm gonna follow my sword with him. I'm not who from the waiver wire can I pick up and then bench Tyler Lockett and play him? It's like no, I could rather sit fine with Tyler Lockett giving me 5 or 6 points potential as a floor, vice reaching for somebody that give me 5 or 6, and Tyler Lockett blow up, but he end up catching a touchdown. A lot of times that's all he needs is a one play. So sometimes you just gotta just go with it. It's a team game. It's not about one player. It's a team game. Okay? So just because your running backs up or don't produce or your tight end using that, it's a team game. That's it's not one person. This isn't boxing. All right? So that's the deal with that. Antonio Gibson, if he plays, you got to play him. Unless you got better options. And most people don't. What's so scary? It must be Halloween. King Henry got the day off on Thursday. He didn't practice. But like I said, it was just a day off. He deserved the day off. He deserved the day off, night off. You know who else got the night off? Who got the day off and the night off? CMC. He's been getting a lot of them off. Because he's glass. That's a shot at all you CMC lovers. All right. It's been told, okay, you know about the Marlon Mack thing, right? It's this whole Marlon Mack sweepstake thing going off. And he's going to get traded. He's definitely going to get traded. Because it's amicable. It's between him and the team. So both of them, kind of seeking, so to speak. The teams that have been interested in him in the last few weeks has been told that it's been the Chiefs, the Panthers, 49ers, and Saints. I can definitely see all three of those. Lesser about the Chiefs. Well, no, Chiefs too. But Panthers, obviously, because CMC, and then they have don't have nobody outside of Hubbard. And the 49ers, because Shanahan's always searching and won't commit to nobody, it seems like. And the Saints, because Kamara's getting like all the work. I'm going to be honest with you. It's only week 7, coming up on week 7, but I didn't anticipate if they're going to give him all the work. I didn't anticipate him making the season if they're giving him all the work like that. Tony Jones Jr. got hurt, so it's just been all him. So we'll see if he can keep it up. He's not built like that, so we'll see. Good luck to him. So next are the Bucks. Let's talk about the Bucks real quick. I guess a reporter or something asked Bruce Arians, is he willing to trade Ronald Jones? And basically, old boy just laughed at that. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Arians just scoffed at it and kind of chuckled at it, laughed at that little sentiment. Yeah, so he's not interested in that. All right, and let's go with Damian Williams. I think we already talked about Damien Williams. Well, I got him on twice. Well, I combined them. And again, I'm just interested to see who's going to start between those two. But the safer play is Damien Williams to me. Let's go wide receivers. Wide receivers. T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton is ruled out for Sunday night's game against San Francisco. Now, listen, I wasn't an advocate of drafting or promoting, advocating for him to get drafted because, listen, I'm going to ask a question and see who's going to be the first one to answer. When it comes to a specific fantasy player, it's a tongue twister. What question do I pose to always ask yourself if you're supposed to draft, if you're thinking about drafting a person or not that has some age on them? I want to see if anybody knows the answer to that question. Put it in the comments if you know. I'll give you a hint. It starts with the word have. Okay? So, T.Y. Hilton's out. Paris Campbell with the IR after last week. He's called that bomb touchdown, but he's headed to IR. He's gonna miss the whole year. So basically, it's just Zach Pascal and Michael Pittman Jr. And so if you got shares of Michael Pittman Jr., run it up because that secondary of San Francisco is not good, and he should be getting the volume like he should, as expected. So Michael Pittman Jr. Maybe Zach Pascal, he started the season though. I think he was first 2 games he had 3 touchdowns. So you never know. We'll see what's popping with that. It's gonna be a great Sunday night game. At least I'm hoping so. Broncos head coach Vic Fangio believes that Jerry Judy is gonna play next week. He said he was cleared to play this past Thursday, but the coach said he felt that it was unfair to put him out there because he hadn't practiced yet. So, and I think that's pretty respectful of the coach actually. Not put his player out there, even if the kid wanted to play. Don't put him out there because all eyes are going to be on him. So if he don't produce, he's going to look bad, or he's likely to have a setback because he hadn't practiced, even though he's cleared. So that was a good move by Vic. Miami wide receivers Devonta Parker and Preston Williams are both questionable for Sunday. definitely one of them should play to be able to help out the receiving game. I'm hoping one of them play. Either or really doesn't matter to me. Just another weapon for Tua. And the reason why I'm saying that because in my second lead, because Mr. Joshua Allen is on bye, I picked up Tua against Atlanta. So, and I had him on my free agent list as well, waiver list if he picked up his quarterbacks, if y'all don't remember. So, I'm rooting for some Tua this week. Bucks Antonio Brown's ruled out. I don't know where that came from, but he obviously hurt himself up. Can't have a good game, a real good game, without getting glassed out. But I guess I'd rather know than you play a quarter and a half and then you lay down. So versus Chicago, they probably feel as if they don't need him against Chicago. So it should be more juice for Godwin. All you Godwin owners or Godwin owners or any that have anybody with the passing receiving game for Tampa Bay, y'all should actually reap this weekend. So Godwin, Mike Evans, play them with confidence this week. So y'all should. One of those guys is gonna have multiple touchdowns. So good luck to whoever have those two players. Let's talk about the Giants. Oh man, the Giants are rough. It sounds like Sterling Shepard suffered a setback with his hammy. He's questionable. 50-50 to play. Kenny Golladay and Tony, they're already out. They're not gonna play. So the Giants basically have like John Ross, Shepard, and Slayton, and they're questionable too. So, little nugget, I don't know if you got the cojones to play him or pick him up. You know who had 11 targets last week for the Giants against the Rams? Dante Pettis. I know. He was with my Niners for a while. He got in Shanahan's doghouse and Shanahan got him up out of there. But he had 11 targets. Granted, he only caught 5 for 48, but that's 11 targets. So the tight end, he glassed too, so he's questionable. He 50-50. So we'll see what happens against the Panthers this week. Got to score somehow. You got to move the ball somehow. Somebody's going to get some targets. So we'll see what happens there. I want to also mention a couple of days ago, one of my guys actually hit me up on Facebook Messenger and asked me about Peoples-Jones because I mentioned him in the waiver and said that that could actually be something. And I did feel that way he could have been something, but that was with actually Baker playing, and that was before good old Landry decided to come back at the last minute. So Baker not playing, that changed the dynamics, and Landry came back to do his little bit of thing, was not too much of nothing, and so that kind of changed the dynamics of that. So sticking with the Browns, can we stop talking about Odell Beckham? Granted, nobody's talking about him, but stop. He was on my do not draft list, and I saw so many fantasy football content creators saying, oh, well, you can pick him here. Oh, you can pick him there. Oh, it's value. It ain't value. It ain't value. He's trash. Eli isn't peppering him with 13 targets a game. He's aged. He's tapped out. He's washed up. I'm going to tell you stats. Here's stats. In 5 games this year, 5, he's had 2 games of 70 yards. He had 77 yards and 79 yards. 2 games. And the other 3 games that he actually played in, he's had 27, 20, and 23. Everybody watching this video can probably catch for 27, 20, and 23. The dude is, and obviously no TDs. So in 5 games, he has a 16 for 226 yard stat line with no touchdown. Cut that boy. For one thing, none of my subscribers should have him on your team because he was on a do not draft list. But if by some reason you do, cut him. Knock it off. Okay? Stop letting him litter and other players like him litter your lineups. And while I'm thinking about it, when it comes to waivers And I'm asking people, did you do waivers? I don't want to hear, oh no, I'm okay. Oh, my opponent, he's looking bad. I don't care about your opponent. I care about your numbers and your W's. All of yous. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we need not just the wins, we need the points to position yourselves for possible bye week in the playoffs. I know it might not seem possible if you got 3 losses already, but it's very possible. They never take a loss for granted, a game for granted, because you can easily still lose a game that you're heavily favored to win. I remember it was a game where an opponent didn't have 3 players. This was probably back in 2014. I was sticking my chest out, man, walking around like a chick with a new boob job. So arched the back and everything the whole week. And I lost. That was the hardest loss, man. So it's all, build your team. Don't just be passive. You still should be working that waiver wire, because people out there like Johnson for Cleveland, Dearnest, that dude scored 25, 26, 27 possible fantasy points this Thursday. You know, and if you could have grabbed him, you could have got him and put him in your flex. Don't ever just sit idle. You can always play keep away and all that stuff. Okay, stepping down off the soapbox. All right, let's continue. Mr. Porcelain Jones, a.k.a. Mr. Julio, he's iffy / hopeful to play. He'll most likely sit, but if he plays, in which I doubt it, if he plays, I don't think he's going to shake much, but we'll see. If you got better options, put somebody else in. But let me ask you a question. To all of you Julio Jones owners, if there are any out there, because he certainly wasn't a green for me, because he was a yellow at best. He was a yellow. I remember my cousin actually saying, "Why come Julio didn't get a green? Hey, how come you called me out? Why come Julio? You called me late too, man." I was like, it was crazy. I was like, dude, he ain't supposed to get no green. He lucky he got the yellow. No, cuz you should have been a green. Who's right? Who's right again? It just doesn't stop. Starts with CMC and it just keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. Granted, nobody's ever going to be all the time right. But guess what? You can be right the majority of the time. And that's me. Yours truly, Anthony Blake Jr. Flawless Fantasy. So, Terry McLaurin, he's a full go. So, playing against the Packers, they're going to need him. And that quarterback need to play better too, Heineke. And the final little bit of wide receiver news is Chris Hogan is retiring. He's decided to retire. I don't know how long you guys been in fantasy, but Chris Hogan's been around for a while, and man, I done had him on a fantasy team or two, and it was always good to root for Chris Hogan. This is back when Brady was throwing the rock to him and stuff too. So Chris Hogan was a decent wide receiver 3 in leagues that you place 3 wide receivers. He was a solid 3 at times, man. He got stupid, but he's retiring. So happy next chapter to Hogan. All right. As far as the tight ends, we got some unfortunate, it's kind of sudden news for Darren Waller. He got downgraded to questionable recently. And so he's questionable to play, and it's triggering some people that he's questionable. He plays 4:00, so they won't have they most likely might not have a definite by 1:00. So if you have Darren Waller, you might want to have somebody that you need to pivot to. Most leagues play to where you can pick somebody up, cut and drop somebody before the game start. Drop somebody and pick up somebody before the game starts. So, but Darren Waller's a baller, so I think the questionable tag is just precautionary. I think so. I think he'll play. So he hasn't been everything. Been all that as of late, but. We'll see what happens. Make sure you're prepared for that if you have him. More news about Dawson Knox. Obviously, this is kind of like what I thought. I thought this timeline would be around about 3 weeks for a broken hand, so he'll probably miss another 3 weeks. So to bye and then 2 more weeks. I'm gonna be honest with you, him being a mid tight end one, upper mid tight end one, you got it. Well, mid now. He didn't do all that great last time. He did okay. He caught that 2-point conversion. He's worth keeping. When you're attached to a great quarterback and you're getting juice, you got to think that, you can't just throw that on the wire. So, if, I'm holding him in the league, and I'll play Higbee, but I'm not dropping Knox. Nor should you if you have him. And Dallas Goedert is not on the injury report. He's ready to go, ready to play versus the Raiders. And he has cleared the COVID-91 protocol. Yes, 91. Didn't feel like saying that number. Just to shun the COVID real quick. And that's pretty much it. So I hope that helps everybody out. Makes certain people feel warm and fuzzy. If this is your first time watching the channel, feel free to press like and subscribe. Comment if need be. We'd love to join you in the community. Feel free to comment. And if you have any questions, always hit the most recent video that I dropped. Jump into the comments and ask your questions or make your statement. And I'll get back with you as soon as possible. I check a handful of times a day, plus I get my alerts. So I don't want to fail you guys. I want to be here for you. So make sure you stay positive. Don't get too high in wins. Don't get too low in losses. Let's power through this by Apocalypse Week 7. Get back to full strength Week 8. And power through to the playoffs. This is Anthony Blake Jr. signing off. Flawless Fantasy Football. Let's get it, baby.